Thank you very much, Nick. Now, it has been 2 weeks since the controversial swearing in of 34 judges at State House, with failure by President Uhuru Kenyatta to appoint 6 judges. This happening 2 years after the Judicial Service Commission forwarded 41 names to the president for appointment as judges under the leadership of retired Justice Maraga. And now we're coming to you live from Karen, the residence of Chief Justice Emeritus David Kenani Maraga. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us and making time to be with us this afternoon. After the last time we spoke, sat right here in January, you remember?
Yes.
So asante sana and ma'am for welcoming us home again. And I wonder, how has it been? How have you been keeping? Last time we were talking about how will retirement be like. How has it been?
Thank you, Sophia, for coming once again. I thought we had agreed last time you would leave me alone to go into retirement, but it has been good. We are happy.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying my retirement at home.
Yes.
Yes.
So let's get straight into it. I mean, 34 judges last week. We saw the president appoint them, then quickly, it's quick succession, I beg your pardon, the swearing in at State House. And of course, failure to appoint 6 of them. And one, unfortunately, God rest his soul in peace, had since died because 41 were the names you'd forwarded. What did you make of the appointment, the entire ceremony? Talk to us about that.
Sophia, I've already made my position on this. Even before I left office, there were suggestions that we should swear those who didn't have what they call integrity issues, which issues were never given to us. And that we go on because I was all the time complaining about backlogs. And I said, no, if we allow that selection, we will be violating the Constitution. So, I didn't want to wage into this one. On this appointment.
Yeah.
But on a second thought, particularly after you called me on Monday,
yeah.
I thought and I looked at that and I said, look, what has this swearing in done? You know, this is public lynching of the 6 judges who have been left out. Do they continue serving? When the people go to court before them, the first thing in each person's mind is this fellow has integrity issues.
Yeah.
When somebody loses a case before that judge, he will come up with allegations, frivolous application that this man was bribed.
Yeah.
We have reports that he's somebody who takes bribes, or who has integrity issues. You're literally ruining the careers of these judges. And totally ruining their lives and their families' lives. That is so serious that it cannot be done so casually like it has been done.
Yeah.
This is extremely bad.
On the flip side, Emeritus, it could be argued that perhaps at the point the names were forwarded to the president, and then some information emerged, as he says, received adverse information on certain individuals. If then that happens after the fact, are you then saying the president should sit back despite this new information on these persons? How should it be canvassed?
There's a procedure, very, very good procedure. Swear these judges in, lodge a complaint before the Judicial Service Commission. And whoever has been appointed, whether he was an advocate before or he was a judge before, he will be removed. If we don't follow that process, you know now what has happened is that these judges have been condemned unheard. Because now, in the eyes of the public, these are the corrupt judges who the president was talking about. That is the message out there. Yeah. And that is condemning these people unheard. It can't happen like that.
Because somebody was giving an analogy and saying that perhaps imagine a scenario where after the names have been forwarded to the president and say one of the nominees goes on a shooting spree, killing tens of people. Should he then, just because there are those who argue his role is ceremonial, just approve or appoint rather as opposed to then take what he sees as his constitutional duty, a measure regarding that, because this has happened. Whilst this person is innocent until proven guilty, but because you know this information for a fact, then you take that decision based on what he has always argued. He takes those decisions based on what he sees as constitutional duty.
Let us not go into some hypothetical situations.
Yes.
We are dealing with a very serious issue here, and the law has a very good procedure of dealing with that.
Yeah.
The vetting of the judges before appointment is done by the Judicial Service Commission. And as very many people have said, including the vice chairman of the Judicial Service, the former vice chairman of the Judicial Service Commission, said, is when there is a short list of the candidates, the Judicial Service Commission sends letters to all institutions, and they puts it even in the media. Anybody who has an issue, bring it up. When you have that issue, the law requires at Article 47, you can't condemn somebody unheard. You must give him the particulars of the allegations against him to answer. What happens in the US? You have seen it is in the media. You have seen cases in the US where somebody said you raped such a lady 20, 30 years back. Those allegations are put to those judges. When they are looked, they are examined. When they are found to be frivolous, they are thrown away and the judge is appointed. That is the process that should be done. So the president cannot come around and say, I have intelligence reports that these people have integrity issues. And then we take that as gospel truth. And we don't interrogate that. To allow that kind of thing. If the president doesn't like your face, you will never be appointed a judge.
So did you, at the time you were CJ and the issue came up, did you ever seek to find out what information was this that the president had? Just even without making it public, of course, at the time, to find out what is this adverse information, details on the individuals. Did you ever seek to find out?
Yes. That issue arose when we were doing the interviews, in fact, almost coming to the end. And I wrote myself and said, look, are there any issues you have against these judges? The letter I received was that there are integrity issues against so and so, so and so, so and so. But I said, look, give us the details. They said, no, by the way we conduct, by the manner we conduct our business, we can't give you those details. So on the basis of that, we were supposed to condemn these people and tell them, sorry, the executive has issues against you, so we can't appoint you. That's what we were required to do. We refused. As chair, we discussed that and refused, and went ahead and appointed them. Passed them for appointment.
So that information came before you forwarded the list?
Exactly. It came, but we were not given the particulars. Yes. As I told you, Article 47 of the Constitution requires us to give the particulars of the allegations against those people to them to respond. They could easily be free for us, and if they responded, and there are quite a number of other candidates. We put allegations against them, which we received from the law society, from the public. We put those allegations to them. They answered them. We examined them and we looked. Some of them we dismissed them. And as I've said before, there are some which affected some candidates we were interviewing.
So I had an interview the other day with the former vice chair, your deputy in the commission at the time, Mercy Deche, and she indicated that she was surprised that when the 6 names released as rejected or did not meet the threshold to be appointed, it was different from the list that was given to you at the time. Is this a position you agree with?
Yes, I confirm that.
How many names?
The names have changed.
All of them?
Those who know. Those who were said to have issues, and some have been added now to that list, and others have been removed from that list. So for the good of the persons concerned, I won't name them, but that's what has happened.
So what does that speak to from where you sit?
The mala fides of the allegation.
Yeah.
If it was a bona fide allegation, why is this shift? Why are you changing? Today it is Sovia and Maraga. Tomorrow it is Sovia and another person.
Yes.
Like that.
Yeah.
And Maraga has been removed or Sovia has been removed. Yeah.
So when some would sit and look back and say, a stalemate that lasted for 2 years under your leadership, and of course after you exited as the recruitment was going on, in 2 weeks in the new CJ in office has been unlocked. What again, I'd go back to, would you say attribute the same to?
I don't want to speak for anybody. I don't want to speak for the new Chief Justice, for example. I don't know what conversations or what discussions have gone between her and the president, or if there have been any. But from her statement, when she says, "Look, you have appointed this 34, but we want the 6 appointed." That alone is a sign of protest, that this what you have done is not correct, in my understanding.
But she attended the swearing in at State House.
Well, look at it this way. The president is adamant is going ahead to appoint. It is really neither here or there whether or not the CJ should have appointed, attended, or how some people look at it.
Yeah.
I don't want to have an opinion as to whether she should not have gone to State House or going to State House is like an endorsement. Look at the awkward situation the CJ finds herself in. When the president is adamant is going ahead with the appointment.
But he was adamant also when you were Chief Justice. But then there was then a stalemate. So in this instant, there appears to be a different approach, would you say? There are those who have said perhaps there were negotiations, we don't know. But during the interview, when she was being vetted and interviewed for this position and asked, because the question was put to every candidate for the position of Chief Justice, how would they deal with such a stalemate? And she's talked about roundtable conversations on issues that were, having and hitting a deadlock.
As I said, it is not fair to say there were negotiations when I don't know.
Correct.
Whether there were any negotiations, because that would be casting aspersions on the new CJ. Maybe she didn't even have any conversation with the president, and we don't want to go into that.
And in hindsight, then for you have had time to reflect. Should you perhaps have not taken such a hard stance, the grandstanding on saying it's either 40 all or none? Because in terms of delivery of justice, you have talked about the backlog and the issues in the judiciary. In hindsight, would you have done it differently, do you think?
No. Because you see, why I refused to, I told you there were suggestions that I allowed the ones who were not tainted to proceed. And I said no. Because if I allowed that, I would myself be violating the Constitution. I would be like telling or giving the president the liberty to, whenever any list is sent, and he looks at the list and he sees this fellow keeps ruling against the government, let's leave him out. And that's the president that would be set. I refused, because to do that I would have set a very, very dangerous precedent.
So you throw out the baby with the bathwater. Some of your critics have argued that Chief Justice Maraga was a good judge, but a bad politician.
Yeah.
That in that of being able to navigate the very delicate dynamics that present themselves. Because at the end of the day, many Kenyans are seeking justice.
Yeah.
And judges, this process has told. So if you can win some and then keep pushing for the others, wouldn't that have been something perhaps worth your consideration?
That's what I'm telling you, that if I had set that precedent, I would have now given the president, the current president and all the other presidents to come, a free hand to choose from the list which has been sent to the what.
So this has set precedents.
If it is allowed, I mean, and that's why you see all this noise about this, that, why literally all the lawyers are up in arms that this is wrong.
And it happened yet before, during Mutunga's tenure, didn't it?
It did happen at that time.
Yes.
It happened at that time. But now it has reached a level, and that's what I'm telling you. It has reached a level that unless we arrest it here, it will keep coming. And it will be very, very dangerous.
So to the president's argument and those who say his role surely cannot just be a rubber stamp, cannot be a conveyor belt, inaingia huku inatoka huku, what do you say to that?
Those people don't understand. They have not read the Constitution. They have not read the Constitution.
What